Okay, now we're going to multiply a binomial times a trinomial. It's just a little longer process, but not any more difficult. X minus 2 times x squared plus 3x minus 2. You'll be doing a lot of this multiplication when you get to college algebra as well. You basically start by multiplying x and distributing the x times every term over here in this trinomial. So x times x squared, that would be x cubed. Now keep in mind, it's x times 2 more x's. That's why it's x cubed. X times a plus 3x would be plus 3x squared. There's 2 x's being multiplied. That's an x squared. And then x times a minus 2 is a minus 2x. So we're done distributing that. Now we start multiplying the minus 2. So minus 2 times x squared would be minus 2x squared. Now keep this in mind. I could either write it right here, and I will, minus 2x squared, or your textbook would show you to go ahead and write it underneath this one, right there, because those are the ones that are going to combine. Minus 2 times 3x, or plus 3x, would be a minus 6x, but your book would tell you, why don't you write it underneath this one? Because it's kind of like if we're skipping over a step here. Next row, skip over a space so they can line up. So you're welcome to do that if you'd like. Instead of writing it here. I don't want you to write it in both spots. Just write it in one of the spots. And then a minus 2 times a minus 2 would be a plus 4. So there's a lot more terms here. There's 6 terms as opposed to 4 now. But then comes the combining like terms. So typically the first term will not combine with anything. That's not always the case, but typically the case. Excuse me. Now we're going to combine what else we can. So we have a plus 3x squared minus 2x squared. We group those together, and that leaves us with a plus 1x squared. 3 minus 2 is 1. So you could write the 1 if you'd like, or you can know that it's imaginary and just put plus x squared. We're also going to combine this term with this term. Negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. If you're subtracting 2x and subtracting 6x, you're subtracting 8x. Remember, when the signs are the same, you could add them and keep the sign. And typically the last term doesn't combine either. So when we multiply that out, it's going to be this third degree polynomial. And finally, we have what is x minus 3 squared. Please keep in mind when you see any problem like this, a binomial squared, not to fall for the trap of just squaring the x and squaring the 3. A lot of students will say the answer is x squared plus 9, and that is not correct. X minus 3 squared implies that students should take x minus 3 times x minus 3. That's what x minus 3 squared means. Much like 5 squared means 5 times 5. Well, x minus 3 squared means x minus 3 times x minus 3. So write it down twice. And then knock yourself out and start distributing, foiling. X times x, that would be x squared. X times a minus 3 is minus 3x. We're done with that. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. And minus 3 times a minus 3 is a plus 9. Negative times a negative is a positive. Let's gather up our middle terms here. Leave our first term alone. It's not going to combine with anything. Combine those. Negative 3 minus 3 is minus 6. Signs are the same, so you add them. Group them to a minus 6. Leave the 9 alone, and this would be your final answer.